Alrighty, what a weekend of Valorant tournaments it was, it is, and it has been. It's your host, the smoothest fingers in the gaming industry, ZAZ, bringing it back. Another scouting report, I guess you would say. This isn't a scouting video. I don't know why I labeled it that, but we are breaking down some of the stuff that went over and happened in the Valorant tournaments in Masters this weekend. Yes, I know I'm late on it. Yes, I know I took my time with it. But after I watched all the games and went back and rewatched them, because I wasn't able to watch them most of Friday and most of Saturday, I went back, watched them, paid attention to them, and really broke them down. Got some notes for you guys. Okay, I'm prepared for this. I'm prepared. So we're gonna talk today about Valorant Masters. We're gonna talk about my expectations. Did it live up to expectations? Not only just from the competitive aspect, but from the balance aspect with some of the characters, some of the metas, and some of the teams as well, and also some of the players. You guys know I was very critical of Myth, or not Myth, I said Myth, oh my gosh. I was very critical of Wardell, and I want to be very critical of other people because I want to see them improve. I want to see them get better, and I just want to see everybody continue to just build Valorant into a great competitive esport, because right now it's really dethroning CSGO. Not that I want that or that I care about it dethroning CSGO, but that I definitely want to see another esport come up and be just as successful as CSGO with some of the mechanics that CSGO started and that Valorant is now implementing. So we're gonna go ahead and switch this over with a sexy transition as we usually do. Hell yeah. All right, so I want to break down to you guys exactly what ended up happening right here with Valorant Masters. I want to talk about the overall overarching of what's going on in Valorant. So you have challengers, masters, and champions. Pretty much all of you know that, and if you don't know that, well, here you go. Link will be in the description below for you to check all this out. So here's the timeline for what's happening with 2021. We're gonna have challengers and masters, which we just completed, and then at the end of April, I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd week of April, I might be wrong on that, we're gonna have the next challengers, the online open qualifiers, and then the challengers, the people who win that, the top 4 of challengers, go to masters and they play in masters again. Now the masters that you just watched was essentially a regional qualification because we're online right now, but masters in June is going to be in Iceland. At least the plan right now is to be in Iceland for masters, and that'll be the first LAN of Valorant, and I'm pretty sure the first LAN that any esports done, or at least any major esports done in a long damn time, and I'm excited for that. I'm pretty sure you guys are excited for that. I hate seeing online qualifiers and online stuff like this unless it's like challenger stuff. You know, obviously you can't get everybody in the world to come and play in certain locations or anything like that, but again, as this develops and as it gets better, and probably the challengers in July and August will probably have more LANs, we'll see the best teams come out of it. Because personally, what I believe and what I think, just from all my times competing and understanding competition, is that LAN, it's not the same. It's really not the same. Online and LAN are 2 different ball games. There's so much iffy stuff that happen online, whether it's connection interrupted, hit reg, anything can happen. And don't get me wrong, Valorant has a very good, not only anti-cheat to prevent this cheating stuff and just the lag in general with the connections with the 128 servers. However, it's not perfect. It will never be perfect, and LAN is the best thing to get there because it's literally lag free. If there's anything that's going to be lag free, it's LAN, and that's how it should be. So here's the schedule. Obviously, after Masters, you have Last Chance Qualifier, which will be, you know, obviously the Last Chance is pretty self-explanatory, and then we'll have Champions in December. It's a whole year worth of Valorant, a whole year of stuff we'll be covering, and I can't wait to cover it. So here's the Valorant Challengers format. Right here, you can take a look at this. Basically, 3 NA teams will qualify. EMEA, 4 teams will qualify. I'm pretty sure that's Pacific. Don't get me messed up on that or anything. And then Korea, Japan, and you got all this other stuff, Asia, everything like that. It's mixed into that, and you can see different regions. I paid attention to multiple different regions. Korea was my favorite people to watch. Just the production and the teams and everything that went into Korea was pretty much just splendid. And I mean, Korea is pretty much the mecca of esports right now, so it was hella fun to watch. I recommend you guys checking this out, getting familiar with this. And then here's the champions qualification, which again, you guys can check out. Look into pretty much everybody who wins from Masters, or the 2 best teams from Masters and NA and certain brackets right here, as you guys can read and see, will qualify for that. So what I wanted to take a look at today was going over to the schedule and the brackets and everything that happened over regional Masters. And I wanted to talk about all these games and essentially give you guys an overrun and a breakdown of what happened and kind of go over it. So what happened throughout this tournament that was very big for me and that I kept paying attention to, other than watching different regions play and seeing how the regions got down, was just how much online affected everything that was going on. I mean, online seemed to affect almost every game for me that I just seen, and I knew wouldn't happen on LAN. And to me, you guys know this if you watch me stream this on Twitch or you watch me on YouTube, the hit reg. The hit reg, it's so big, and I'm not going to blame any of that or say that a team lost or won because of that, even though there were some major issues that probably could have contributed to some wins and losses over the course of this Masters. However, I won't say that. I won't put that out there. I have no concrete evidence for that. All I can say is that it was suspected, and there were some connection interrupted. There were some glitches and some mess ups just due to being online that I really thought to myself was like, man, when LAN comes out, this is going to be a whole nother ball game. Now, if you guys were sticking with me and seeing me stream this on Twitch and you're familiar with the channel and you're familiar with me, Team Envy was who I was rocking with. They're my team. I support Team Envy. They're from Dallas. I've known Team Envy for a long time. Played against them in Halo. Understand them in Call of Duty. Played against them in Call of Duty as well. Known Hastro. I don't want to say no Hastro. Let me not say that. I've met Hastro multiple times. Great dude, great guy, and I love everything with Envy and everything they're doing. And seeing them get into Valorant is a wonderful thing, and I absolutely support them. I'm going to stand by them. However, me breaking things down and going over them does not make me sway my bias towards Envy or anything that happened with Envy. This weekend was exactly where I thought Envy would land. I thought we would be at least top 3 or 4, and that's exactly where we ended up landing. Now, I thought we could have beat Gen G, and if it wasn't for a couple boneheaded plays from the players, which we'll get into later this week, we would have made it there. But Gen G is splendid, and they absolutely showed out. And even being in the losers bracket pretty early on, for me at least, what I expect from them. But man, every team that I seen for Masters that were in Masters, I mean, they were just really fucking good, man. I mean, what do you really expect at this point? And honestly, man, I think one of these teams could be traded out with T1. I mean, 100 Thieves and T1, they were pretty much the last Masters group to get in. So, I mean, they or at least on the cusp of the last Masters group to get in. So, we had a lot of good teams, especially NA. Now, I won't say NA is the best region or anything around that from this weekend, but I will say with Korea and NA, I mean, there's a lot of going on right here, man. There's a lot of teams in NA that are just really fucking good, and it's exciting. I love to see that. You love when your region puts on, right? It's like in League of Legends, NA doesn't put on, so we can't really talk. But here, we put in a lot. And TSM as well, man. I mean, TSM could be in here. If they make a couple roster changes or fix up what they're doing, they could also be in this group competing for this stuff. But man, it's going to get rough. It's going to get rough coming up in these next lands and Masters. So let's talk about Gen G and 100 Thieves. I was pretty disappointed with 100 Thieves. I think they came out just absolutely flat in the first game. That's really all I can say. They just came out flat, and then they just never bounced back, and Gen G just took absolute advantage of them. Highly disappointed with 100 Thieves, especially since they were the favorites coming into this. I personally thought Sentinels was the best team all around in North America, and it proved me right. Even with Sinatra, I thought they were the best. Shazam had a 2-week break before he came into the tournament, which he talked about on his stream. If you haven't seen that, you guys should look around for that. I don't have a clip to show you or put it in the description. I just seen it on a YouTube video. I'm pretty sure those guys over at Esports Talk cover all that, so you can check out their channel if you want. But I was highly I would say highly favored on Sentinels, and I thought Sentinels was the best team, and they were the best team. Even with Sinatra, I thought they were. Shazam had a 2-week break before, I want to say, what was it, First Strike? Yeah, First Strike, they had a 2-week layoff where Shazam essentially didn't play because of his father's death. You know, that's sad to see, obviously. If it was me or anybody else, I'm pretty sure we would do the same thing. So it was a little rough for them, and then coming into this, they absolutely dominated. They had a chip on their shoulder the whole tournament, and then when they were able to pick up 10s, I mean, when they picked up 10s, everybody knew it was pretty much a wrap, right? They didn't really drop a map other than to Gen G. I think Gen G is the only people, or Luminosity maybe, who took a map off them. I'm pretty sure we can see up here if we could take a look at it. See, I mean, they're just not dropping any maps. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna keep looking. I'm almost positive Gen G, maybe, I don't think it's gonna show it on here. I don't know. Gen G or Luminosity are the only people to take a game off of Sentinels, and again, they only dropped one map, and that's just goodness, right? Goodness, man, it's absolutely phenomenal. So I also wanted to talk about Xset, you know, kind of the dark horse that went into all of this. Played phenomenally, just wasn't good enough to play against FaZe. FaZe up in your face. Again, we'll get to them later on in this discussion, but Xset, I want to say a good shout out to you guys. Be better next time. I mean, you're with the big boys now, so there's gonna be a lot of pressure. But I mean, for your first, I would say first pretty much tournament in Valorant, this is the first tournament to me. I know First Strike people said that, but to me, this is the first tournament. They played well, and I definitely want to see them improve and get better. Which was really weird to me to see with Team Envy and Gen G. This is going to be a rivalry. I just want to let you guys know that Valorant is going to have a rivalry between FaZe, or not FaZe, excuse me, Sentinels and 100 Thieves and Envy and Gen G. I mean, we just continue to meet each other and play each other, and continue to see these matchups. And as much as I love them and I want to continue to see them get matched up, it's going to be a dogfight, man. It's going to be a dogfight. So let's talk about the second match of Masters. Let's talk about Envy and Luminosity. Obviously, when we think about Envy and Luminosity, again, big supporter. Very good team in Envy with some of those boys over there coming from CS. Some of the best players from CS are on Envy. They just pretty much swept Luminosity. I think Luminosity are a great team. I just don't think they're ready yet to take that next step. And I don't think they will be in the next tournament if they don't fix up who's going to be fragging and who's not going to be fragging. I tell people this all the time when I'm playing Valorant and when I'm playing other esports. Kills are essential. I mean, that's the name of the game. You got to kill to win the game. But however, the most important thing is that you get to these people who don't understand the difference between kills. Not all kills are created equal. Some can be when they're exiting. When they're exiting after the spike's basically about to go off. There's exit frags. There's different frags basically where they're not on rotation, or you catch them on rotation and then you get traded out. You can get a lot of frags and a lot of kills on Valorant that don't mean anything. And that's exactly what it is going on here and what's happening right here when you see a lot of Luminosity's frags and the lack of fragging. And I definitely want to talk about that. I want to see that because right now the meta playing out is Jett roaming around the map and Reyna coming in as a second, basically a second flash or something. You have almost an entry with Breach. You have Phoenix flashing around the corner, and then you just have Jett smoking something, and you have Reyna pushing through. At least that's how Sentinels was playing when they had, I keep always forget Tins' name. Tins. And Tins was able to do that very effectively, and it was pretty simple and pretty easy for them to do. So again, Luminosity needs to work on their fragging, and I'm not talking about just fragging as in getting high numbers and getting high kills. I'm talking about getting the kills to entry, or getting the kills that mean something, such as when somebody's on site, or getting the people who are basically getting intel. That's something Luminosity did not do all week, was they did not get a lot of intel. And let me open my book here so I can give you guys a reference. I'm pretty sure in the second map, when they played Envy, it was around the third or fourth round. There was a frag where they were still pistols. I don't know if it was the third or fourth round, but it was still pistols, and the intel wasn't stopped. And Envy got a lot of intel, and that's super important when you're playing against these great teams. Intel means everything, and I just don't feel like Luminosity was able to counter intel and frag out the intel people of Envy, or the intel players of Envy, very well. Moving on to Sentinels and FaZe Clan. Now, this was hilarious because I didn't watch this game when it first happened, but I went back and watched it. I watched both. I watched this one, and then I went back and watched Sentinels 3-0 them. FaZe is going to come back to bite them, man. I'm telling you guys, this is going to come back to bite them. It's not working now, but I feel like after this tournament, that heavy push rush that FaZe Clan is doing with Baby Bay and some of the players that they have over there, I feel like that's going to get nerfed. It's just going to absolutely get stopped. Jett right now needs to absolutely be nerfed because even the all frag characters, Reyna too, they don't have anybody to play off this, and Shroud was talking about this a lot. You know, every other character and every other strategy and every other player, they have to play with the team. They have to work off their team. When it comes to Jett, I mean, Baby Bay is a prime example of this. He's able to just get in their face. And Baby Bay is just so good at just playing Jett and being Jett. He's just kind of like Wardell was when the game first came out in the first couple of tournaments, where he was almost unstoppable because Jett was so good. Now, it's a lot to like, right? The op combination with Jett, you know, it kind of feels like they're matched and it's fun to watch. However, no gun should be designed for one character. That needs to be fixed. And I think Sentinels, even though they're obviously the better team, they have the better fraggers, and just the pickup of Tins, excuse me, was really good. I definitely feel like FaZe Clan was definitely figured out just a little bit. Moving back on down to Team Envy and Gen G. I kind of covered this already, but again, very close matchup. Could have went either way, in my opinion. Gen G was just a better team today and really learned from their mistakes when we played them last time. And I definitely wanted to say, you know, that's what happens. When you guys play once and it kind of, again, this was a close matchup. It just sways a little bit in Envy's favor. You come back and you guys play again, and next you know, it sways a little bit in their favor. It just, you know, they say unlucky. There's a lot of things in Valorant. People say that. They're like, unlucky this, unlucky that. I don't believe in luck. Don't think luck happens. But on LAN, I definitely will listen to it. You know what I mean? I definitely will listen to it. And, you know, again, with Envy and Gen G, I feel like this is going to be a struggle for a long time. And I felt like Envy would have matched up with FaZe Clan a little bit better. I feel like Envy is more, again, they're a group of veterans. Whereas Gen G, they're veterans too. They got a lot of veteran players, but they're not, you know, staple in the game. Not most of them, like Envy is with Food and some of those boys over there. So we have a lot more. I think FaZe Clan could have thrown at Envy and Envy responded better. But again, Gen G came probably off a high horse beating Envy. Like, yo, we just beat Envy. About time. We lost to him last time. We beat him this time. It's lovely to see. We just beat 100 Thieves. You know, we can probably come in here and defeat FaZe Clan. And FaZe Clan was just hot. you know, and they were also pissed off. There were a lot of pissed off about Sentinels. They're like, yo, we can beat Sentinels. If we just play our game, we can beat them. They crushed Gen G. They go into Sunday with a lot of momentum. I mean, everybody was hyped to see this game. It was a big game, a lot of viewership for this, and Sentinels comes in with the shabanga, and it's pretty much over. And that's all that really happened with Masters. Again, I can get into everything that happened with the strategies and the coaching and all the stuff that went down for all these, and I will do that in later videos. However, I just wanted to go over everything, break down Masters to you guys, show you guys what happened in Masters, and get my take on it. I thought Sentinels was going to win. They did win. I picked them before with Sinatra to win. Again, I thought 100 Thieves was going to be in the finals with them. I thought 100 Thieves, if they wouldn't have got into losers so early, they would have seen it. But again, FaZe Clan is just a dominant team. And I just think some of the metas need to be reworked around for Valorant and Riot Games. They really need to touch up some things, fix some things. The Reyna Jet combo, there needs to be some working out there. I just think they're too dominant. They're too powerful. And I mean, Tins and Baby Base showed all of that this weekend. That when you're a frag character, you're just almost impossible to stop. And especially when you got top tier supporting characters who know how to do their role. And I was very impressed to see Sage. You guys have seen me multiple times play Sage. It's my favorite character to play. I absolutely love Sage. And it was great to see some of the walls and Icebox and some of the stuff was split in the Korea brackets. And I wanted to talk about Korea as well and go ahead and go through Korea's games as well with in U-turn, new turn, and I don't know how to say these names, guys. You're gonna have to give me a break. But I thoroughly enjoyed watching some of the Korean games. They were fun to watch. Right here with new turn and Vision Strikers. I mean, that was just fucking blast to watch. One of the best games all weekend. One of the best things that I've ever seen. Again, it was a lot of fun to watch. And it was fun to watch different regions use different strategies. I feel like EU, they really didn't use as many frag characters. Like some teams didn't even use frag characters. They didn't even use Jet or Reyna. And they were still getting through. But Ascend and Heretics, I mean, Heretics almost beat Ascend, but Ascend brought it back. I mean, it was just nitpick all game until the last game, and Ascend ended up winning by a pretty sizable margin. But again, a lot of fun to watch, and a lot of strategy was on display. There's a lot more to go over, a lot more to talk about, and we'll continue to do that until the next pickup of the next challengers, where we'll go into my hype for the challengers. We'll talk about amateur as well. I didn't forget about you amateur players. I love you amateur players, and like I said, I'm an amateur coach and scout, so we're going to work our way up together, build up our way together, and continue to talk about this as the matches and the season progress. Anyways, that's gonna do it here for me today, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about Masters. Did the pick that you wanted to win come out? Who was disappointing to you? Who was just an absolute shock to you? And did you think that Valorant and Riot Games handled this tournament well? And what are the metas that you would like to see be better? Again, I want the metas to continue to change and evolve. I want to see teams adapt to them. Not all the time per se, but we need a new map to just replace Split. Get Split the fuck out of here. And then we'll talk about a new map for Icebox later on in the year. And probably a couple new characters, another frag character to really offset, nerf Jet and Reyna, and then add another character that essentially frags. And then please buff my lady Sage, man. Please, man. We need some love here, man. Sage is that character, man. But I love to see her, and she was out there today, and it was great to see, right? It was great to see. Thank you guys for tuning into the video. It's your boy, Easy. As always, God bless. Bless up. I'll see you guys in the next one, and let's get to it, man. It's competitive season, baby. Competitive season.